Jazz hands. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 19 of the Dangerously Smart podcast. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I am your host for today. My name is Sylvester. Let me introduce you to my cohorts, though. Who's this young man on the right?
Are you all right?
Whichever right, just go.
It's me, the one, the only, the coast to coast connection, Mike.
He's our dark space ghost.
Really?
All right, and who's this gentleman right here to the left with the stunning goatee?
The chilled and relaxed Glenn.
Or as I prefer to call him, Glenn and McNabb. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you to a very special episode. We just got back from Dragon Con and it was absolutely amazing. But before we get into that, I just want to see what's going on in your lives because, Mike is in a whole nother state. We don't even talk anymore. He doesn't even reply to my text. Mike, tell me about your life while I cry for a second.
Oh, I'm restart. Anyway, my life has been quite all right. Really just a bunch of working, uh, trying to get some money together so I can. I haven't been to Vegas yet, but I'm gonna go to Vegas in January.
Speaking of which, Frontier Airlines has a deal this week, and if you need Vegas flights, it's only for this month though. I've seen them as low as $15 per way,
Really?
so $30 round trip. Frontier
Wow.
Airlines, that'll be one of two dangerous deals of the day.
Well, you might want to check the fine print on that one because they had $50 round trips to L.A., Atlanta, New York, Chicago, but the catch was you had to be flying out of one of those airports in order to get that deal. So St. Louis to New York for $50 was not happening because we were looking
Ah.
at that at work because it was around the time the Atlanta trip was happening. I was like, shit, I'm about to do $50. I don't care who plane I get off for $50. And
Well, this
they was like,
comes from somebody that actually like used the deal and told me about it. So this
no,
is
that's
actually
cool. I'm saying if it's
legit.
legit, I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, yeah, this is real. Check it out. I'll send you a link, and it's pretty cool. I meant to tell you about it yesterday. Anyways, absolutely, congratulations, Mike. Vegas is awesome. Watch out for the rats. Biggest rats I've ever seen in my
What?
life. Yes, and they're not scared of people, but when they're in Vegas, they don't look down. They're always looking up. So like rats will just be walking around your feet and you won't even know. They're like cat-sized rats, so watch yourself. But
Wow.
I do love Vegas. Vegas is awesome. Make sure you save up because every time I ate in Vegas, it was at least like $30 or $40. Like,
Well, that's the thing. I've been talking to people here about going to Vegas, and they were telling me basically, is depending on where you're staying, you almost don't have to pay for anything because
well, maybe they know more.
I would say, because apparently they will just give you drinks, like on the street, just give you drinks.
They'll give you drinks in the casino if you're playing. I never had anybody give me a drink on the street. I wouldn't trust that.
No, no. Well, I'm saying like an actual like cart vendor thing. It's like
Mike's going to get a drink on the street here. Duh.
no,
I like
no.
to take my time. Duh. What is up?
But nah, apparently it's like if you go like in front of like if you're on the strip in front of different casinos, they'll have vendors outside the casinos like here, try this, try this, try this, because they want you drunk to spend money.
Huh.
And make bad decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Nah,
it's been a long time since I've been. I said it's been like 4 years maybe, so I'm sure it's like a little different. But enjoy it. I had a blast out there. Make sure you eat good because there's awesome
yeah.
food out there.
I was gonna say, yeah, I would. I'm going for the other event that's not CES in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
Hmm.
Just don't get all graphic.
Well, I can't get on graphic yet because I haven't been.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you don't want to talk about it. Who knows? But
Uh,
anyway,
well, no, I'll talk about it. I'm going for the AVNs, the AVN Awards, Adult Video Network Awards.
your mom will be proud.
I'm sure she will be. Now I'm actually going. I wasn't going to be going, but a friend of mine, she she's a cam girl, and she wanted to go, but was saying she couldn't afford it, and was saying, "Hey, you stay close. You want to split a room?" I'm like, you know what? I can wait till January to go to Vegas and go for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Uh, all I expect is I get there, and as long as I don't have a hangover moment,
Yeah,
you know,
I hear you're a horrible drunk.
am I horrible drunk?
Yeah, like throw up and pee on everybody.
No. Do not spread these lies. What? Do not believe that, listeners. Sylvester is a liar.
Anyways, Glenn, can we sing you a song? I mean, I don't know how comfortable you feel about this, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday, Glenn.
birthday, dear Glenn.
That song is copywritten, so you have to do like a gangster
No,
version of it. Happy
no.
motherfucking birthday!
Really, if they really truly want to sue us for singing Happy Birthday, they're not going to get much.
Yeah, that's true. They could get like, yeah, some PokéMon cards in an ashtray.
They can have whatever's in this Microsoft store bag.
What's in the bag? Oh, what's in the bag?
But Glenn, tell me
Wouldn't they
about your
like
life.
to
How
know?
how are things?
Um, Things are good. I just got back from Atlanta and it was amazing. Um, Birthday's coming up Tuesday, the 15th, and yeah, and going to the Zelda concert this weekend because it's finally in St. Louis and I finally get to go to it, so I'm really excited about that.
Isn't that the
And
second time they came to St. Louis?
that's the first time they
First
came.
time.
The first time I was gonna go is when they came to Chicago about 3 years ago. But the problem was I started my job that week and getting off work on a Thursday wasn't happening the first
Uh,
week you start work.
right.
So I couldn't go.
Awesome,
But
man.
yes,
Congratulations.
it's here and I'm ready.
So, Glenn,
Sweet.
you know you have to take lots and lots and lots of pictures.
I don't think you can take pictures in a symphony.
You can't. I
Well,
mean,
no. What I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure people are going to go there. Some people be dressed up going there.
not many people really dress up at those. You'd be surprised. Well, at least here, because when I went to Distant Worlds, which is the Final Fantasy one,
He's so
it was
cultured.
it was like two people dressed up. It was one dressed up as a Squall, and another person dressed up as another character. I wasn't quite sure which Final Fantasy she came from,
Mm.
and that was it.
Are you going to dress up, Glenn?
Black Link. I'm gonna be Blink.
All right.
So,
Oh,
um,
speaking of that though, so it was this one guy at Dragon Con, and he was dressed as Ness, and it was a black dude, and his shirt said Blackness. Yeah, I just thought that was the funniest thing
yeah,
that
he
I've
was the
seen.
winner. He was definitely the winner of the day on that one. He's on our Instagram, by the way. That's dangerously smart 314 on Instagram. So definitely check that out. He was definitely the winner of the day. He had the best. Um, and funny thing, I didn't get a picture of this guy because he was gone in 60 seconds. But Mike, you should have seen it. There was a guy that cosplayed as Glenn.
What? Explain that, please.
I mean, you should have seen it. Exactly the same. It was like a doppelganger just
Did
walked by, and I was like,
Glenn, did you see this person?
I didn't.
"Yes, you did. I showed him to you." I was like, "Glenn, look, it's your doppelganger." Ah, you got a bad memory. Glenn's got a stoner memory, by the way.
He doesn't even smoke.
And I don't smoke, just in case people hear this.
I'm just saying he has a bad memory, guys. Anyways, yeah, we saw some awesome. Since you got into Dragon Con, we'll talk about it a little bit. We saw some awesome cosplay, and the funny thing about Dragon Con is not like NYCC where there's like one central location. It's all downtown, and there's like 4 or 5 hotels. So you're walking from hotel to hotel, and it's just like a zombie horde of different cosplayers, and it was extremely like I couldn't imagine being a local person not hearing about Dragon Con and me driving around like what in the hell.
I mean, honestly, if you're local, you know about that because it was people that I was talking to. I was like, I'm here for Dragon Con. I was like, oh, I know what that is. Or like here when it's like St. Louis Comic Con, I was like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
everybody knows.
we're new to it. This is only our second year of having a con.
Yeah,
Right, going on there for 20 years. I mean, it's like
Right.
people know.
it's a staple.
Yeah, even when
Yeah.
we got off the airplane, it said, Dragon Con, like big old, banner for Dragon Con when we got off the airplane. So interesting
Dragon
stuff.
Con's big money down there.
Yeah, I didn't know how huge it was because it's smaller like the celebrities and the events. Like I was looking at this huge line that like went wrapped all the way down the street, and we were like, okay, what's this for? And they were like, it's for um like battle armor.
Battle armor.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
people
like
that like to make armor and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. So like it's very small compared like the different events that they have are smaller, but it's very huge at the same time. There's this Glenn, would you agree there was more people than NYCC?
I think so.
mm,
It was huge. Like imagine cuz I mean you got to keep in mind every hotel was filled, and then even when it rained, and then there was like people that were just walking around. It was absolutely amazing. It was crazy. Wish I could have got more pictures, but we partied too hard. But yeah, Dragon Con was awesome. Glenn, is there anything that kind of stood out to you? Anything you want to talk about it?
Um, Not really. I mean, I wish that we had went on Saturday instead of just Sunday because Saturday's like always the day.
I wish we
But
could have caught the parade.
yeah, but no, I mean, the only thing I didn't like is well, I can't say I didn't like it because this is new and it's the first time I did it. But the whole 5 different hotel thing that kind of threw me off a little bit because I didn't quite know exactly where to really go for stuff.
It's hella
Like,
confusing.
my thing
right.
is this. I know I wasn't there, so I can't really speak out of a nodule spot, but I would think that even that because it's between 5 different hotels, you could have still like kind of got in and just saw stuff.
That's
You just could,
basically what we did.
yeah. And I'm still complaining because you guys need to take more pictures next time. But still, help a brother
Did
out that
you
can't be
did
there.
you look at the Facebook? I mean, we got a whole bunch of pages. We
You
got
got
all
30
kind of stuff.
pictures.
All right. Oh, Glenn hasn't uploaded his stuff yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize that. I just saw 30, but I'm like, that's it?
Well,
But
I'm sorry, Mike. We like to party. Okay, we went to like 50 different clubs out there. Well,
Did you
bars, I
take
should say.
pictures in the club?
Nobody wants. Why everybody keep asking me for pictures in a club? Who take pictures in a club? That's weird.
It is, but guess what? You want to show that you are the man, even in ATL. You the
That's,
STL, the ATL connection for Dangerously Smart, man.
that's strange. You're a strange fella. You're a weird dude.
You're just not figuring this out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, the
yeah,
cosplayers we do have are absolutely awesome, and I just want to thank them for coming out and being cool. A lot of them are showing us love on the Twitters and the Facebooks and all that. So, and definitely check that out. Hey, Mike, what's our Facebook?
it's going to be www.facebook.com/dangerously smart 314.
And what's our Twitter?
Our Twitter, it's going to be at dangerously smart. That's smart without the A.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, And for me, one thing I'll say is just that everybody is so cool in Atlanta. I guess it's just because it's southern, but I mean, just like the cosplayers were cool. Everybody was cool. Like you could just walk up to them and just like have a cool conversation. So they were very welcoming. They welcomed us to that city quite well, and that explains the lack of pictures.
That
I was too
sounds kind of
I was
odd there,
too
buddy.
drunk to hold the camera. Anyways, um, let's get into our presentation though. What do you guys want to talk about first? You want to talk about some technology?
uh, let's start with the tech news. Yeah,
Okay, so Apple have a event. They made some announcements, and let's talk about that because that's interesting. So the big news of the day, they announced the new Apple iPad Pro.
yeah.
You know how much that starts at?
It's over nine
Super.
thousand.
I would say super expensive.
It's over 9,000.
So it's $899 for this big ass tablet. Um, it's a little bit less than 2 pounds. It's got a new processor in it. Yeah, it's an interesting old thing. But me and Glenn were talking about it, and one thing that he pointed out about this um, is even with all the accessories, because the accessories are expensive too. There's a Apple Pencil, which
Yeah, I
is
was
very
about to say like I'm not that interested in a pencil.
yeah. So there's $100 Apple Pencil, and there's an Apple Keyboard, which I believe is 170.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, $170. Well, $169.99 Apple Keyboard.
170, damn it.
So yeah, if you add that up, you can really get a really nice PC for that price. But one thing Glenn pointed out is Glenn, what tablet was that you were talking about that goes for like double and triple that price?
Well, it's called the Cintiq. It's made by Wacom or Wacom, how you want to pronounce it. So anyway, if you go to any convention like New York Comic Con or C2E2 or anything like that, where they have the artist alley at, or where they usually sell the artist books, they always have these where you can play with them. They're really nice, but they're expensive as heck. The cheapest one is $2,000. That's what it starts at.
Damn.
So this, to me, this device is going to be the killer of the Wacom Cintiq because I mean you can have an iPad that gets online, you can take it anywhere. The pencil, from what I saw from the video, is really nice. And the weird thing about it is it actually has a lightning USB on the end of it, and that's how you plug it into the iPad to charge it. But I mean this pen is amazing, but the tablets is so expensive. But I think, as Sylvester was saying, they're marketing that towards people that are in the industry, not your everyday, I want to go to Starbucks and just use it type person.
Oh,
Right.
I'm sure there'll be those people. It's like, ooh, look, I'm a hipster. I paid $2,000 for this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm in the store. I'm in there, Panera Bread drawing.
Yeah,
Watch me. We're
but
gonna sit
if
right
you
up front.
but I think guys like Michael Mentor, who was our guest not on season one, who's an excellent artist.
Yeah.
I think he would have a lot of use for something like that because he can kind of do his art, probably do some animation. And one thing about Apple and their tools, like man, their software is absolutely amazing. A lot of people that make music and stuff like that for Apple devices or edit videos, they just use the software that comes with it, which is a huge testament to Apple. Because it's not like that on PC. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of interested not only in what they're gonna do with this device, but also what kind of software they use to support it. Because it's one thing to have a big ass iPad, but are you gonna have like animation software and stuff like that that'll kind of allow me to utilize it to its best ability?
Yeah, I'm really waiting to see what people create from it. I'm really excited about that.
Mm. Agreed. Anyways, let's move on. They also announced some other stuff. They announced the new 6S and 6S Plus. It's not. It's more. The S lines are always like incremental upgrades, but they did do some things that they've never done before. They have a new 12 megapixel camera, and this is the first time that they're gonna have a 4K video recording on it. Um, let's see. They introduced 3D touch, which was rumored for a long time. They call it 3D touch. Everybody called it force touch before, and basically it's kind of like right clicking on on something. So you kind of like you can hold it for a second if you just want to kind of preview it, or like say for example if I click on Mike's name, uh, on my contacts, it'll show his picture and his number. But if I hold it or press harder on his name, it'll actually call him, which is pretty neat. It's actually kind of similar to the Note line. For those of you that use a Galaxy Note tablet or Galaxy Note phone, you can kind of hover the stylus over the screen, and it'll give you preview information on some apps, and then you can tap it if you want to actually open it. So it's kind of similar to that, and I think it's kind of revolutionary. I can't wait to see what the developers do with it. I think it'll be kind of cool for games, and yeah, I think that's pretty cool. What do you guys think?
Sounds interesting, but my thing is like it's just tapping the screen.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, how long has it been since tapping the screen has been changed or innovated? You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll suck, but at the same time, maybe it'll be awesome. Who knows?
Now we can hope that everything is awesome.
Everything is
because it's
awesome
part of
for the team.
Yes.
And then also, Apple introduced in the U.S. only the Apple Upgrade Program for 32.41 a month. You can get a brand new iPhone every year, and that comes with Apple Care Plus. And basically, it's just support for their phone. So if something happens, you can take it to the Apple Store and they'll fix it. If your screen cracks, they'll replace it. There's some that say that's a big ripoff, and there's some that say that that's a great deal. I guess it just depends on your pockets. But yeah, most one thing to consider is most providers have something like Mike. I think you have the AT&T Next program, right, where you get to upgrade, more than just after like 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of like a lot of software. I mean, a lot of carriers are like that now, where it's like the 2-year contract is going away, and they want to have a model where you switch your phone out more often because that makes you more willing to stay with them. I guess I don't know.
More willing to
Uh,
stay with them and more willing to spend money with them.
exactly right. Keeps you on the latest and greatest.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so you're gonna have to pay for that on top of Apple Care Plus, which is that 32.41 a month. Um,
Yeah, I think
I don't
it's
know.
like what 300 a month. I don't know, yeah, a month, but like a little under 400 a year.
You tell me. You tell me, Mike.
Yeah, it's like no, yeah, 380 something.
Yeah. So is that a good deal for you? Would you do that for the phone that you have right now? If Samsung said, "Listen, we'll upgrade your phone every year. If anything happens to your phone, we got you." What do you think?
For me personally, that really doesn't sound like that good of a deal.
Right.
Not, but I know people that just run through phones and
Mm.
do horrible things
Right.
accidentally, usually,
Right.
to their phone, and that would be great for them. I
Yeah.
say that I say this would be great for those people that like are real like hotheads basically and throw things a lot.
Or accident prone.
Yes, yes, we'll call it that. Accident
Yeah.
prone.
Cause I mean, think about iPhones, man. Cause you remember I had an iPhone for like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But iPhones, iDevices, their screens, I guess it's because they don't use Gorilla Glass or whatever, but they tend to, like, to me, at least in my personal opinion, it feels like they're more
Susceptible.
susceptible, thank you, uh, susceptible to damage. Like, you know, I've dropped this all glass Note 5 a few times, and there's no dents or anything on it. But
See,
um,
here's what you say, Sylvester. What you're really trying to say is they're flimsy. That's the word you're looking for.
I don't know about flimsy because they are like quality products. Like there's a you always hear about those stories. Like there was a guy who forgot his iPhone on a trip, and I mean he forgot his charger on the trip, and he got it back home, and then he put it on the charger, and the iPhone was still like tracking his movement even though it died. And then you hear about like iPhones getting ran over, but they still work. Just crazy stuff like that. I think the quality products. I just think the glass they use is kind of,
Janky.
but yeah. And that's for the iPad too, because when I had an iPad Mini, I cracked the screen just by slightly dropping it. So yeah, and I don't think I've ever cracked an Android screen, and I've had many Android devices. Um, so yeah, just something to think about. Anyways, what else we got? Oh, Apple is not playing. So they revamped the Apple TV. For the longest time, Apple TV has been kind of lame. Like you can watch Netflix on it and HBO Go or no
As of
HBO Now.
as of recently, because it wasn't always on there.
Right, that's recently. And you can watch any movies that you bought on with Apple. And yeah, the new Apple TV, which starts at 149 for a 32 gig iPad, I mean Apple TV. This is like completely blown out. So it's more like Android TV, where there's actual app ecosystem, where it's more than just a few, a few developers. Like you actually have like the Hulu, the Netflix. You have Siri on it, and you can tell Siri to do cool stuff like temporarily put captions on. I love that because sometimes I want the captions there, but just for a second. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. You can have Siri
Yeah,
rewind and fast
that
forward.
actually does sound nice.
Yeah. So, and the little controller on it is actually a little touchscreen at the top of it, and you can use that as a gaming controller, and it's also motion sensitive too. So it's very similar to a Wii.
I was gonna say more so like a PS4 controller.
Yeah,
If you looked at the videos, it's very similar to a Wii. Like the developers of Rock Band
Hmm.
have a game, and it's kind of like imagine like Rhythm Heaven. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, that's an excellent game for Nintendo. It's a lot like Rhythm Heaven to me, like a sports theme, Rhythm Heaven. I didn't mean to cut you off, Glenn. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say the remote control has an accelerometer and gyroscope in it, so that's pretty cool. Typically, most phones have that, and they put it in the remote control, which is pretty innovative. Um, I think I will be getting one because I used to want. I have a Roku 3 now, but it's cool. I mean, it serves its purpose. But I really do like this Apple TV. It's pretty amazing, in my opinion. I wonder if they're going to make it like Google Play Games because I've been playing a lot of games on my phone lately, and I see that you have like a ranking system for the Google Play games. I wonder if Apple's going to do anything like that. Do you know if they announced
Oh,
that?
they already had they had that first. Like you
Oh,
mean like
okay.
achievements and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had that before Google had it.
I see. I never had an Apple product except for my clickable iPod, which that's not on there. So I didn't know.
Interesting thing about all this Apple TV, I'm very excited about it too. I think Nintendo needs to be doing this because I mean they have a 32 gig version and 64 gig version. And I mean, of all the things we talked about on this podcast from Apple, they're extremely expensive. That's actually affordable, especially compared to the competition. Like the Nvidia Shield console is 199,
Yeah,
and I think that's 16 gigs.
yeah,
And then there's
16.
also a rate. Hmm?
I said
Is
I
it
was
16?
yeah, I was saying yeah, it's 16.
Yeah. So like what they have is actually affordable compared to their competition, and if they do it right, it will actually like be a decent alternative to a console. A lot of people are saying like it'll be like a console killer. I don't think so.
No,
Um,
no.
but
It's,
I think it'll be a good substitute. Like if you at your aunt and uncle's house for a weekend and you're bored, and they have this cool little TV, I would definitely get down on some games on it. Um, depending on what they do with it, I can definitely see a lot of potential there. One thing I read an article about recently, Apple limits the developers for Apple TV. They can't make an app over 200 megabytes. Yeah, so if you have a game or an app or whatever on it, it has to be 200 megabytes. And what you can do is, oh, and you have to use Apple iCloud too. And
Uh,
yeah, so you could kind of stream your game in and out through that 200 megabytes if you want, but the max is 200 megabytes, which is very similar to Wii on the original Wii. I don't know if you remember that, but they had a 200 megabyte limit on their downloadable games, and they had to open that up because the developers complained. So it'll be
yeah.
interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I've got my eye on it. I don't know if I'll be getting it day one because I bought a Ouya day one and I regretted that.
Hmm.
I
but
think if
I
they
can see
let you
potential.
play all the games that will be on the iPhone, or most, not all, but most of the games on the iPhone that you can on your Apple TV, I would definitely get it. Because there are some games that are exclusively on iOS that I'm not able to play because I have Android. Like, I really want to
Yeah.
play that Ghostbusters game that's kind of like Puzzle Fighter, but since I don't have an iPhone, I can't play it. And when Fallout
Shelter.
Shelter came out, I couldn't play that for the longest. Granted, I downloaded and really don't play it now, but I would like to play it when it first came out instead of waiting.
I
I think
tried
they'll
to
front
get
you up.
into it. I couldn't do it. It's not that it wasn't didn't look fun, but I started it up and I was like, this is going to take a lot of my time, and I don't have that time to give anymore.
Yeah, it's a resource management game, definitely. And I mean, my thing about it, like the Fallout Shelter game, like you'll be playing it, and then you'll start getting your stuff up, and then they'll have raiders come in and kill everybody. It's
Just
depressing.
mess you up.
Yeah, I got attacked 3 times once in one day. Anyways, but yeah, the apps typically go to Apple devices first. That's definitely true. I think it's just because there's less devices. Like if you're gonna test a device out,
Yeah,
if
like
you're gonna test your app out, you can say it's compatible with this iPhone, that iPhone. Whereas there's hundreds of Android devices.
right. What they should do is like here are the most popular Android phones. You have the Galaxy phones and maybe a Nexus and maybe a Motorola. Put it on those. Everybody else gets it eventually.
Well, I mean, the thing about like these Android devices, especially when you talk about the flagships, they all kind of use the same footprint. So like a lot of them use Qualcomm processors. A lot of them use whatever the hot Qualcomm processor is for that year. A lot of them have the same specs, and even the resolution. Um, Most of those games top out at 1080p. So even if you have something that's quad HD, like your phone, Glenn, is not going to actually take advantage of it. So they don't really have to because a lot of these Android devices are um, kind of carbon copies of one another. Like they're just different skins over the same device.
Yeah. I also think it's because of the popularity of Apple, the code of Apple, that makes them just, hey, we'll put it on here first.
I mean, you gotta keep in mind Samsung is the biggest developer in the world. So even though Apple's great, Samsung has sold more phones than them, and they're just one of many Android manufacturers. So maybe, maybe yes, maybe no. I just think it's easier for a developer. If I was a small time indie developer, I would be quicker to develop for an Apple device and an Android device because I don't have to buy a million Android devices to see if it works on the 2012 Nexus
Basically,
3 or
it
whatever.
doesn't have to work on all of them. It just has to work on one on the Apple, and it works.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, they're very similar in their architecture. Like They usually just have 1 gig of RAM, and you know they're A6 or A7 or whatever. I was looking at how they were developing this game called Republic, which is now on Android, but it took them forever to put it on Android, and it's coming to PS4 soon, by the way, too. And they actually had to have like every iPhone, iPad Touch, and iPad Mini. I mean iPad, and they tested the game on each individual system. You couldn't do that on Android.
Right.
Yeah,
Or you could, it would just take forever.
yeah, you would need like Windows
Forever.
stuff, right? Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I couldn't imagine. Can you imagine doing like bug software, like fixing bugs for that too? It'd be
Nope, I'm
ridiculous.
good.
Because how do you emulate? Yeah, how do you emulate that problem that they're having on like an old ass 4-year-old phone? It's crazy. I couldn't imagine being in that
Tell
in
them to
that
upgrade their phone.
situation. Right. Anyways, we talked about that too much. Let's move on. This is older news, but I still wanted to talk about it because me and Glenn are, well, actually all three of us. This affects all three of us because we're Samsung babies. Um,
Savy.
Samsung announced their, um, well, we all got Samsung phones, whatever.
No, I said Sabies. I just combined Samsung and
Oh,
No, no, Glenn, don't combine everything.
but
Stop that.
Samsung announced their Gear S2, which I thought was ugly until they showed it off a little bit more, and now I really want one. This thing is awesome. So it's not like Android Wear. It's its own proprietary, you know, a watch with its own apps and app market. Um, but it's really freaking awesome. Like a lot of the stuff that they're doing is really smart. Like they have this little bezel around the face, and you don't like on my Android watch. I navigate it by touching the screen. With this, you can touch the screen or you can twist the little bezel around it.
Yeah,
Similar
that's really
to
cool.
Yeah, it's similar to Apple's click wheel on the side of the Apple phone. I mean Apple Watch. So it's just a lot of cool things they're doing, and this is the first time their Gear phones will be. It will work on other devices too. So it's not just Samsung devices that it's made for. It'll work for HTC. Basically, most phones using ice cream sandwiching up, I believe. I may be wrong on that. Check their website. Um, oh, and I didn't want to forget about this second deal of the day. Infinity Blade 3 is free on Apple devices. So if you have an Apple device, make sure you check that out. I think that game usually goes for $7. So definitely check that out. I downloaded it. It was free.
I have a question, sir.
Yo,
So you said this Samsung watch is pretty. Is that correct?
yeah.
Is the price pretty or is the price ugly?
So here's the thing. So when they originally announced it, they didn't announce the price, right? And
Right?
recently they announced the price, but they didn't announce the price in the U.S. Now, a lot of um, the industry basically thinks that it'll go for 349 to compete with the base model of the Apple Watch. And there's two different models of it too. There's the Gear S2 and the Gear S2 Active, I believe. Um, is that expensive to me? Hell yeah. I mean, I can buy a black and white Pebble for $100, or I can get a first generation Moto 360 for $150. But if you got the money to spend, it being the same price as an Apple Watch, you know, isn't half bad.
I think I'm gonna Pebble.
Yeah,
I really like spending my 150 on this awesome device.
I thought yours was 200.
Yeah, 200. I don't know why I said 150. But look at my watch face.
Oh man, I was playing with his watch faces. They got some cool options on the Pebble devices. Move
Nice.
that over a little
You
bit,
see
Glenn.
that light? How do you turn it on?
Your camera isn't clear
There
enough.
we go.
It's super
Yeah.
nerdy.
Say something, Glenn.
I'll just text it to you. Forget it. It's the
Okay.
Basically,
but yeah.
it's the scene in Zelda in the first Zelda when he goes into the cave and the witches
Oh,
and
okay.
he
I
has
know
to go
already.
alone. Yeah,
As soon as you say Zelda in the cave, I'm like, yep, I know where it is.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. Continue, Glenn.
Yeah, but I really like the Pebble. I mean, granted, the GUI isn't as pretty as Apple, and this soon to be a Samsung phone. You don't get the full HD screen, but I mean, I like the pixels and the paper e-paper. Any problem with it? I mean, the price was good. It's a good product. It works well. It does what it's supposed to. Low power consumption. It lasts for 7 days, and it's amazing.
Yeah, the whole time we were in Atlanta, he didn't have to charge his phone, his watch once. I tried to charge my watch every day. So something to consider.
Yeah.
The new Samsung Gear S2, by the way, they claim that it has a 3-day battery life. Now, who knows if that's actually true because the device isn't out yet, but that's what Samsung claims.
It also matters like how much you use it too. I mean, because like when I first got this watch, that 7 day thing didn't happen because I was so busy playing with it that the backlight was always on and adding apps and configuring how I wanted to. Um, it didn't last as long as it normally does, but once you just get used to it and it just kind of sits on your wrist, it can last 7 days.
Look at the flick of the wrist. Woo! I'm sorry, we're still in Atlanta mode. um,
Did you get your record deal while you were down there, Sylvester?
yep. Don't
When,
worry,
when,
I won't forget about the little people.
so when's the album drop?
My new album is dropping in October. It's called Box of Rocks. uh, anyways, Glenn, is there some other stuff you want to talk about?
No. I do want to move on to this awesome gaming news that Mike would care so much about.
Oh yeah, very much so. Pokemon Go. So I am a Pokemon fan. Have been since the first game dropped. Um, so what they're doing, they did this. Was that last year for April Fools or the year before on Google Maps, Glenn?
Oh yeah.
I think it was a couple years back, but let me tell you how hardcore of a fan Mike is. He has a tattoo of Geodude on his chest.
No, I do not have a tattoo of Geodude on my chest. Why did you tell these lies, Glenn? These
It's true.
lies.
That's right. It's Jigglypuff on his
Yeah,
anus.
I don't have. No. Wow. Wow. No. No, Michael has no tattoos at this point. But yeah, no, I am very excited about Pokemon Go. Well, the prospect of it. Um, I was looking into it a little bit. So it's actually being developed by the same guys who made another mobile game called Ingress. I tried playing Ingress. It didn't really do much for me. Basically, it with Ingress, what you would do is you would sign up for it, and you would just wherever you were with your phone, you could turn that into a hotspot for the game. And then you had if other people had the game, they could like if they went to that area and saw you made, they could try to take it over, depending on if they were on your side or on the opposing side. People that were on your side could come there if they see that that's there. They can make it better, make it more defensible. If they were on the opposite side, obviously they would attack and try to take over.
So,
So
Mike. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so they've already got the framework for just setting up random things in random places, basically for Pokemon. Um, Looks really, really interesting, at least for me. What are you gonna say, Sylvester?
Well, my question is, aren't you afraid that this is gonna like corral all the pedophiles? So where the little kids are gonna be? Like, oh yeah, I gotta catch them all.
I hadn't even thought about that. what goes on in your mind, Sylvester?
I mean, think about it. That is a. I bet pedophiles are excited about that game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sylvester,
I got a rare right you over here. Oh, fuck you.
why must you be that way, Sylvester? Why must you be that way?
So, Mike,
Yo,
what do you know about this wearable that comes along
hmm?
with Pokemon Go?
You know what? I don't know. I've read the article. I don't remember a wearable. Look again real quick.
You know the funny thing about this, so they
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Ah, uh, the only problem I have with it is I hope it doesn't go the way of many, 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 many other Nintendo peripherals.
talk about what it is first.
No, basically it's just like on the cartoon or in the game itself. You know where they had the little thing for their Pokeballs and where it was stored at for their Pokemon. So it's just
Yeah,
like a wristband sort of thing. Uh, trying to remember the it's like I think it's like Bluetooth. Yes, Bluetooth capable. Syncs up with your phone and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, and it like glows and vibrates when you're in somewhere that
Where
corresponds.
you're when you're near an actual a possible Pokemon.
Back.
could you imagine they put that in like the craziest places, like a government building, in your classroom if you're a student, like
You put it in other classrooms.
I was gonna say, depending on how old you are, if you're a teacher.
right. But no, I mean I'm excited for it. I mean I'm not as big a Pokemon fan as you and Sylvester, but I do like the original 150 a lot, and I love the original series and the first couple of movies. So I'm excited about this myself. And like I said, Nintendo's my underdog. It's my Rudy, and I want to see them do good. And this is going to
Doing good.
hopefully put them in the right direction.
Can you imagine like the exclusives you'll get at Nintendo World in New York?
Oh
Oh
God,
God,
like the
man,
rare, the rare.
Right,
yeah,
It's something they just created. Like, hey, we just created this thing. Walk by and with it a mile and you'll get it.
right.
man. Look, that would be like, all right. So what was that? You said $50 from LA to to New York. Like, okay, I just need to be there for like a couple hours.
You can take the Greyhound.
Oh
Oh,
God, it'll take forever.
smack yourself.
You
I
could beat
would,
like 30 games with that distance.
I would never make it.
But the interesting thing about that little wearable, Nintendo actually talked about it not too long ago. They said they're going to be making a wearable, and everybody's like, "The fuck? They're making a wearable?" So I guess this is what they were talking about. And it looks like they haven't announced the price on this little thing, but it looks like it's going to be affordable because it it's basically made out of cloth. Like the band is like a little cloth band. So I'd imagine it'll probably be less than 20. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating, but I don't think it'll be expensive. And I don't know. I think this is a good way to get people back into Nintendo. I think that this is a good strategy for Nintendo using mobile as a means to boost the hardware they already sell.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have been saying for the longest time that Nintendo needs to just go ahead and embrace actual mobile technology.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about too, there's a Pokemon game on Apple devices and Google devices
There
right
is.
now. Yeah, it's Pokemon Trizy, I think.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a Pokemon game. That didn't happen not too long ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So,
wasn't a big fan of that game in particular, so
well, I mean, still, step progress. Who would have
yeah,
thought that would ever happen?
true, true.
And speaking of apps, though, Glenn, there's an app you want to talk about.
Yes, there is. It's called Star Wars. I just downloaded it today. Yeah, it's called Star Wars Uprising, and yeah, it's amazing. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot so far. I only had a chance to play it for about 10 minutes, but it was a good 10 minutes. You get to create your character. Um, it's a fun game, and if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend it because it's free and awesome.
And
You
this
can't
video
put
is
the
not sponsored by this app.
Yeah, I mean you can't put free, awesome, and Star Wars together and not do it. So so far so good. You have nothing to lose. I recommend downloading it. The only thing you have to lose is hard drive space.
And the cool thing about this is from Kabam. These are the guys that made the awesome Marvel game that's really huge right now. So they got a pretty good track record. So check them out. Check
Yep.
them out. Marvel Contest of Champions is the game I was talking about. They also have a Fast and Furious game, which is pretty awesome too.
Oh, cool. Well, as far as some other gaming news goes, I know this happened a while ago, but we did not get a chance to talk about it. Xbox is releasing the new version of the Xbox Elite, and it's going to come out November 3rd at the hefty price of $499.99 plus tax.
Wow, that's so old. It was like 2 weeks ago. Isn't that weird how fast we move? That like stuff from 2 weeks ago is like super old. It's funny.
Yeah, stuff from a week ago is usually super old by most people's standards.
Right.
Right. I mean, so this one is just to give you an idea on why it costs so much. It's black, and but I don't know if it's slimmer or not. I think it is. It also has a 1 terabyte solid state drive in it, and
That solid state drive is gonna be man. Oh, I want
get
one so
It's
bad.
gonna boost load times by 20%.
Yeah.
get load times 20% faster, so you'll just be able to turn the game on faster. And it also comes with that $150 controller, which apparently nobody really likes.
Really?
Yep. So you get the $150 controller, a hundred. I mean, I'm sorry, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and a new system for $499.
Yeah, that $150 price tag, I don't think is gonna stick on that controller because I can see
Uh,
the market. I mean, I think they're kind of going after like Razer, except it's like official and wireless. But I don't know, man. I don't think that they're gonna be able to sell $150 controllers.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to sell it either. I mean, it seems cool. I like what it can do, and it looks nice, but I don't really see a lot of people getting that one because you have a few other 1 terabyte Xbox Ones out there with all these packages they released, was basically screwed the day one people. But for instance, next Tuesday, the Forza edition comes out, and that thing looks amazing. I would much rather have that than that Elite Xbox.
Sylvester, you getting the Forza edition?
Hell no, I'm crazy. I already got an Xbox. But the one thing I will say too, like
Be right back.
Amazon has what they call the Amazon Entertainment Bundle, and it's also 1 terabyte. It's $3.99. It comes with a year of Xbox Live Gold. It comes with a year of Amazon Music, a $10 Amazon gift card, a $10 Comixology gift card, because remember they bought Comixology out,
Yeah.
and it comes with Madden NFL 16 for $400.
That is
So
yeah, quite a hefty package.
right, so yeah, choose carefully. The thing about um, you know, Xbox right now, like man, I've seen those things really low. So if you're interested in getting an Xbox, I wouldn't go for the most expensive package unless you just want to be a fanboy.
Nah.
Because I mean, I've seen those things for such good prices. Even stuff like the Madden 16 bundle, that's 1 terabyte too, and that's $3.99. Imagine what that'll be a month from now when Madden is a little bit cheaper, or 2 months from
It'll still be $3.99.
now. Well, not if you listen to our podcast and check and follow our Twitter and check out our dangerous deals.
Yeah, because that's what Sylvester does. He finds those deals.
Damn right.
Yeah, and you also have the Halo Master Chief Edition coming out, and I like that one. I'm actually going to get that one. I really like that. And since I'm a huge Halo fan.
Oh yeah, I have a friend of mine who sold his Xbox One already to put up money for that version.
That is crazy.
I
Yeah.
can't go that long without an Xbox. I'm sorry.
And speaking of which, I want to get to our third deal, dangerous deal, which is, and Glenn, this is gonna allow you to parlay into our next topic, Castle Crashers. If you bought that game on 360, it's free this week on Xbox One.
Yep, and there was one more thing I want to touch on before I talked about Castle Crashers. There's another exclusive controller coming out to GameStop. It's a Lunar White, and it looks really nice. It's actually a decent looking controller. For some reason, it's a little more expensive. It's $64.99 instead of the $59.99 price tag. But it's a very nice looking controller. I highly recommend checking it out. As far as purchasing it, make that decision yourself. But as far as Castle Crashers goes, this is a game that me and Mike have spent countless hours playing. Even though it was the same thing over and over again, we played the shit out of that game and we
It was
loved it.
fun.
And I can't wait to do it on this one. Now they have apparently they have a new game mode, and I forgot what it's called. I need to turn on my Xbox to see. But it's kind of fun. But it's very difficult. You basically have to use the buttons on the controller to move your character around this little map, and as time goes on, guys keep dropping down, and you have to avoid them. So it's fun. If you haven't already, it's free. Check it out, and I believe it's $5 after that. Is that right, Sylvester?
Yep,
Yeah, I mean,
$15
so
if you didn't buy it on 360, and if
how
you
much,
didn't buy it on 360, check it out.
how much is it if you didn't buy it on 360?
$15,
Oh, still not a bad price. It's a great game.
well
If you
worth it.
haven't played it, where have you been? It has 1,000 gamer points, so you get 1,000 G if you're an achievement whore like myself. And it's a fun game. Get together with some friends and get it in. So, Mike, who was your favorite character on Castle Crashers when you played? Which one was your favorite color?
I want to say probably the blue guy or the green guy. Because the green guy had poison and the blue guy frozen.
Oh yeah,
Green guy was my guy.
Yeah.
yeah. My favorite two were blue and orange.
I
But
don't
yeah,
like hear about that orange cat.
yeah, Castle Crashers was a great game.
See,
And I had a lot of fun playing that. There is one game I do want them to bring out, and that's Scott Pilgrim. I want that to come out again. 'Cause I
oh
remember,
yeah, I really do. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, especially since they updated with online capability.
Yes.
yep, and it was a great movie.
Great series. Great book series.
Yeah, it was great everything.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the gaming news. Let's hop right in to this movie and TV news.
That's all
Sylvester, you
you,
want to
Glenn.
go? It's on me? All right, cool. All right, so today they released a Jessica Jones teaser. You don't get to see her or any other characters. For those of you who don't know, Jessica Jones is a Marvel character who is going to be a part of the Defenders, which is a series that's coming straight to Netflix. They've already released Daredevil. Luke Cage is coming up after Jessica Jones, I believe. But Jessica Jones drops November 20th.
I thought Iron Fist was coming up after Jessica Jones.
Shit, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, yeah. But regardless, Jessica Jones is coming out. David Tennant's in it, and Netflix has not really let me down yet. Neither has Marvel. So with the two combined, I think I'm going to be highly pleased with this. Because Daredevil, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Jessica Jones. What are your thoughts on this one, guys?
We haven't seen the trailer.
No,
Was that
I saw the trailer. It didn't show anything. It's just kind of like a psychedelic, just color splashes. But it looks really cool. But as far as the premise for a series in general, it seems interesting to me. So I definitely want to check it out, see what they have, see what they're bringing.
Yeah, I was just basically touching on like, what do you think about just like the whole Marvel Netflix thing, like just the whole
Oh,
everything.
so far it's shown to be a great deal. So as long as they keep on the way they're keeping on, I'm a-okay for it. Keep it rolling.
Now they already spotted an Easter egg surprise. It's the internet. If you look at the very end, right before it cuts to the release date, you see a Stark Tower in the background from the Avengers.
Nice.
Yep. Oh, and also speaking of Avengers, that is now available for streaming.
Yep.
On Netflix.
No,
No.
I wish I wouldn't be doing this podcast right now, but no, it's on Apple, and I
uh,
don't know if it's on
It's
Android.
also on Google. Yeah, it's on Android, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's on Amazon too.
Yep. So that's out now. If you haven't seen it, where have you been? Go check it out now. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it again.
Yep. Oh,
So, what are your thoughts on the whole Marvel Netflix thing, Sylvester?
I was gonna change the subject, but it's all good. Yeah, so far so good. I'm excited. I really love Daredevil. I don't think I've ever marathoned a season that quick before. So, super excited about Jessica Jones because as a comic book lover, I think she's probably the most interesting. I think I'm most excited about Iron Fist, but I think she's the most interesting character of all the characters. And I can't wait to see Luke Cage because I want to see if they handle it with respect.
You sound extremely far away.
Oh, now I don't.
Yeah, what were you saying now?
I'm not repeating all that. Continue.
I'm sorry, listeners, he cheated you. But uh, so there's another box coming out. Like we need another one. This one is a combination of Funko and Star Wars. It's called the Smuggler's Box, and just like the Marvel one, it's going to be 25 bucks. You get $50 worth of goods, and you get to deem yourself a pirate or a boss. The pirate will participate in a monthly plan, and bosses sign up for a whole year.
Will you be a booty pirate, Glenn?
No, sir, not at all. See, it's a lot of hype building up for us. Speaking of Star Wars, I do want to talk about Force Friday. How can we not talk about that?
Continue.
So I went to our local Target for Force Friday, and this fucking idiot. I
His
hate
pictures
these.
are on the Twitter and on his Twitter, even though they should be on our Twitter. Check that out. Glenn, what's your no, not your Twitter, your Instagram.
Instagram,
What's your Instagram?
same as my gamer tag, Instagram slash BigBeaver4. It's
Continue.
BIGBUF4D and the number 4. But this asshole of a human being that was in front, they didn't even look at what they put in their cart. They just took their arm and just stepped all the shit from the shelf into their cart. I was like, that is bullshit. There should be some type of regulation against this. Like I want to step shower. I was pissed. I was
Did you
like,
did you fight him?
no, I wasn't gonna take it that far.
You would have ended up on World Star Hip Hop. I would have been so sad.
It's just like people should not be able to do that, man. Like you have people that love this movie that waited in line, and all you want to do is grab a bunch of shit and sell it on eBay. That is fucked up. I really hate when people do shit like that. Like, if you don't want this product, if you don't love this product, don't buy it. Don't, or you can buy it, but don't buy like all of them where people that wait in the line can't get any, and then you just fuck around and sell it. That's not cool. It should have a person there that says one, something that says one per customer or at least two per customer, not the whole fucking shelf for one asshole. And that was my rant.
Okay. Real quick, just to take a quick step back as far as the Netflix Marvel thing. So when once they have like all of the four main characters, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, once they have all of them, those are supposed to be the Defenders, and they're supposed to be that their own separate series. Are they going to keep going with the single series as well? Just make the Defenders a whole separate thing?
I think they could. They could do it Avengers style. They could have all have their separate movies, and then when the Defenders drop, which should be like the Avengers, then everybody gets their part two after that. Or their
Okay.
season two, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. I was just kind of wondering, like, that's kind of an odd way to do a TV. Well, it's not a TV series, but you know what I mean.
There's a lot of potential there. I look forward to seeing what they do with it. I want to see some awesome cameos.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what David Tennant does because I really like him as an actor, and not just because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Well, yeah, that's why. But yeah.
Hey, Mac, you
Speaking
might
of
Okay.
which,
agree with me on this.
Doctor Who season 9 is starting up September 19th. I can't wait.
What were you saying, Sylvester?
Oh, do you want to see like a Moon Knight? Uh, yeah, a Moon Knight in the Marvel shows.
See, I know a very little about Moon Knight.
Really? Oh, I figured you'd be a Moon Knight fan. Okay.
Yeah, I know of Moon Knight. I know his powers, but I don't really know his backstory so much.
He's kind of like Marvel's Batman.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that.
Yeah. Anyways, he was talking about some nerdy stuff. So continue, Glenn.
hey,
With your Doctor Who that nobody gives a shit about.
Sorry.
hey now.
You would get RKO'd out of nowhere on this podcast. It'll go viral.
Continue. My dog might do it. That'll be funny. That'll get
That's okay.
No, but yeah, Doctor Who starting September 19th is going to be amazing. And if you go on Fathom Events, you might still be lucky enough to grab tickets for when they show it in theaters next weekend. Well, I think sometime next week. I think it's on Thursday and Friday, or
They're
Tuesday,
gonna
Wednesday. I gotta check again, but they're gonna show
they're showing the
Doctor.
season finale in theaters.
But yeah, so Mike, how are you excited about season 9?
Oh, of course, of course. I was actually having a conversation with a couple of friends the other day, talking about Doctor Who and how some of they're fans, but some of them just like saw the first couple of episodes of the last season and just kind of fell off. I was like, no, no, give it time. He grows on you. Sylvester, are you like loving on your pet right there?
Ladies, I would just like to point out that she is a stray rescue, and I have a heart made of gold.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Now, but I do have a short Doctor Who story. As a child, I was not a fan of Doctor Who. I actually hated it. But when they did the reboot in 2005, I was all for it. Were
Well,
you a fan of the early days, Mike?
I barely remember. I know I've seen a couple episodes, but not enough to really know what was going on with it.
Yeah,
talk
'cause
about what makes it awesome.
Huh?
So I was telling Glenn to talk about what makes it awesome.
talk about what makes it awesome. Is
Yeah,
that what he
like
said?
I remember
Yeah.
when I was younger, right? When Band of Brothers first came out, I was like, this sucks. But as an adult, I love it. So talk about why you like it now as opposed to when you were a kid.
Well, when I was a kid, it was something I felt like I was forced to watch because my dad. He's a nerd, and he got me into a lot of the stuff that I'm into now. But since the graphics on Doctor Who were so cheesy, and it was just so out there, I just couldn't really get into it. I didn't really watch Channel 9 for real. So my dad was like, "You're gonna sit here and watch Doctor Who," and I was like, "I'm rebelling."
Channel 9 is PBS here in St. Louis, by the way, guys.
Okay, yeah. So I was like, "I'm gonna rebel, and I'm not watching it." And so as a kid, I just didn't like it. And as time went on, I heard about it and saw stuff about it, and I just never really got into it. And I was really into Ninja Turtles and others in Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters cartoons and the Ghostbusters movies at that time. So Doctor Who wasn't really on my radar. And then when I became a little bit older and I met Mike and his group of friends, they was like, "You have to give it a chance. Just watch the first few seasons, the first few episodes, and you're gonna like it." I was like, "Shut up!" And at the time, I was unemployed, so I didn't have anything to do. So I just sat down, watched the first 3 eps. I was like, "Okay, this is kind of cool." And after that, I was just like, "Hell yeah, this is my shit." And I binge watched and caught up so quick.
Yes, Sylvester, you look like you have a question there.
Yeah, so are you saying that Mike indoctrinated you?
One of us. One of us.
Continue.
Gooly, gooly,
Yeah.
one of
So
us.
and then the other thing is like when I was younger, I didn't have too many people to talk about nerdy stuff with, so I was always like in this little corner, like I like this. This is pretty cool. Yeah. But then when I met them, I was like, we can all talk about this shit together. It was amazing. What did you like? I like this. I like that. And I could never really do that. And now
Also,
that
listeners, he is not exaggerating with that. He was just like that.
yeah, so I was like, I finally got people I could talk about this shit with. And then I just really got into it. And then the merchandising happened. It was like I was a kid all over again. I was like, oh shit, the merchandising. Got to buy my sonic screwdrivers and my hats and t-shirts and all that stuff. And then I met other people that were into it, and it was amazing. So yeah, and plus I have a love for the UK, and that just helped it grow.
See, that's funny because that's exactly how I got into Pokemon.
Got into
Wait,
what?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I even love all the spin-offs. Like Torchwood was pretty. Torchwood was great until America took it over and had that Miracle Day stuff, which was okay. But the British ones were really good. And I have not watched the Sarah Jane Chronicles yet. I watched the first episode. I really couldn't get into it. Mike, have you watched it yet, or do you even know about it?
Of course, I know about it, but I haven't watched it. And wow, I cannot think of her actual name.
Yeah.
But rip Sarah Jane.
Yeah, and I really like all the old characters. Not characters. I really like all the monsters because they come up with some really weird monsters and they're always really cool. And they come up with like really clever ways to get rid of them without killing them. So I think it's pretty cool. Like my favorite, I really like the adipose,
Okay.
uh, the Slovene,
Yeah.
and my two favorites are the Cybermen and the Daleks. Oh shit! I'm sorry. No, the Weeping Angels. It's all of them.
I'll say not the angels, not the silence.
Yeah, I love the silence. It's just too many characters, and I like all of them. And there's not too many shows that I can say that for. And I also like the diversity too because they put a lot of different people in there. So I'm going off on a tangent. Let's talk about something different because I can go on about Doctor Who forever.
Well, actually, I believe we hit all the points tonight. Unless you all had more amazing Dragon Con stuff that you're holding out on.
I touched the button, Atlanta.
Just one?
Only one I'm willing to talk about.
There you go. What was
The
his
one thing
name?
that was funny about Dragon Con when we were in the area where you buy stuff at, and people were just running around screaming penis. I was like, what the fuck? Were you there for that? When we were getting a Lego thing, people was just screaming out penis. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Glenn, what did you start?
Dude, I was just sitting there. It was weird because it won't let you sit down either. You can't sit down like on the sales floor because I was trying to charge my phone. And so you can't sit down. I thought that was kind of weird, but whatever. But it was amazing, and I do plan on going back next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Um, there was something I want to bring up before we went away. Oh, fourth dangerous deal. PlayStation has their 20th anniversary sale going on.
Oh
It's two
yeah.
deals to talk about, so just check it out if you have a PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3, or PlayStation 4.
I was like, yeah. Somebody pointed out that yesterday was um, the Dreamcast 16th birthday.
9,999. Yep,
Yeah.
best marketing campaign ever.
Agreed. So happy birthday,
So,
Dreamcast.
in honor of Dreamcast, what was your favorite Dreamcast game, Mike?
Soul Calibur.
Damn it, you stole
Really?
mine.
Yes, really. So many hours. It was well, it was kind of a tie between Soul Calibur and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Those were the two games I spent the most time on.
How about you, Sylvester?
He stole mine. It's definitely Soul Calibur, and I will kill him with Mitsurugi. I just want you to know that.
What they need to do, they need to come out with a new Soul Calibur for the Xbox One, or bring out the old games digitally, so that you and I can both get them, and I can put you to shame.
Yeah, they should re-release Soul Calibur 1 that they re-released on 360 or make it backwards compatible so I can
Yes.
destroy you in that. Because I personally don't like 4 and 5 that much. 4 was cool, but I hated 5.
No, I can't stand five. I was gonna say I liked I like two and three. Two and three were cool.
Oh, yeah, 1 is the one that was on
Dreamcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, one
And
was the one on Dreamcast, but I'm just saying
on
any
the
of them will do to put you to shame.
oh, my Cervantes will destroy you. Are you serious?
You know what? I really need to make sure my friend Warren listens to this one, so that way he knows that there's some other random person that thinks that
I mean,
Cervantes can be good.
just tell Warren he can get it too because
Oh no! See, here's the thing: you and Warren will both go at it with Cervantes, and we see who was the better man.
yeah, I can tell you right now it's me because
You can
yeah.
tell me that all you want; it's just not true.
Where's my belt? Where's my belt? You lucky I can't find my belt, but
You're not the champ.
I'm the champ. I'm the chosen one. John Cena. Da, 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 da. I'm sure you want us to ask you the question though, Glenn. Glenn, what's your favorite Dreamcast
I
game?
would I would have to say Power Stone 2, and yeah, I think that's it. And as far that's like the top, but other than that, I really like the Sonic game. Crazy Taxi was awesome. Jet Grind Radio was cool. And they had a lot of good titles. That system was before its time. I really loved the VMU, but
Oh, VMU was cool.
yeah, so I don't know. I loved it. It was a great system before its time, and they need to re-release some of those games because I know Sega could use the money.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
he said. Anyways, guys, do we have any more we want to discuss?
I'm good.
Me too.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you for coming out, checking us out. Oh, Mike, you got a whole bunch of sponsors and all that stuff to talk. Well, I guess we couldn't call them sponsors, brothers and sisters. Uh, so please rep your squid eye.
Ooh yeah, brother, come on.
I think.
24 inch pythons.
Oh, what's wrong with you, Glenn? So sad. So sad. Anyway, just so well, first of all, I've got to rep ourselves. If any of you great listeners want to get in contact with us, let us know, hey, I found this amazing thing, or just want to shoot us an email and say, hey, you know what? I listened to the podcast, I like it. Here's my opinion of it. You can always hit us up at dangerously314 at gmail.com. Uh, all three of us pay attention to that. If you send something, we will respond. Uh, you can always go to our Facebook page as well. That's going to be www.facebook.com/dangerously smart314. You can hit us up on Twitter. That's going to be at dangerously smart. That's smart without the A. You can check out the pictures that will hopefully be all posted up on Instagram as well. That's going to be you can find us on Instagram at it's going to be dangerously smart 314. You can listen to our podcast on on our site. Oh, excuse me, on our Podbean site for our Dangerously Smart 314, or you can go to our sister site, which is STL Tech Talk. Go there, you can get our podcast or any other of the podcasts I do on there. They are more technically centered on that podcast. So if you want to know a bit more, get a bit more in depth with that, you always can with them. You can catch us on Real Gamer News. They are a gaming centered website. So you can go there. They have podcasts on there as well. They keep up with all the news that's gaming related. That's Real Gamer News. That's news with the Z.com. If you are a fighting game aficionado, you can always go over to STL Bar Wars. That's wars with the Z.com. They keep up with all the latest and greatest in the fighting spectrum of gaming on
What he said.
Sylvester, you're going to have to learn these things.
No, I'm just gonna, make that little sound bit and put you in there.
You're going to just use a soundbite of me?
Mm-hmm.
So that way I will forever be on the podcast.
Exactly. I've been live tweeting this whole podcast, not having.
You should have been.
I did post some post that episode 19 is currently in the works. So check us out, guys.
Yeah, see, what we need to do is we need to actually start posting up before we record so that people can actually listen in live. Because we can have viewers on this.
Where we go talk about that on the air. Anyways.
Yeah, we can. Well, I mean, we want to get the word out there, man.
Thank you for coming out. We'll see you guys next Thursday, as usual. Please hit us up with your ideas or hate. We love trolls. Have a good rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, submitted for the approval of the Dangerously Smart Society. I'll call this podcast episode 19.
Have a great one, everyone. Bye.